Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. You're looking at the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew. You might know it's a leFhy, a leaf blower, or a leHeffer. This one is located on the north spawn of Erlenberg, and it's under the command of targy. And we've got two replays featuring targy in the Fifi La Pew Pew. Okay. Aiming down at the castle. He's expecting the enemy tanks to come up there. In fact, actually, they have sent an SFV down there to try and spot the enemy. His first shot is a speculative one, and unfortunately there's no enemy there, but he can get shots on this OI, and he's dialing in. It's a tier 7 game with tier 5 Arty in it. Rounds out. Direct hit. In fact, actually, he got 83 hit points off the OI there. It's lining up another shot. And that's another direct hit right on the front of the OI. In fact, there's two tanks there now. A Viz 44-1 and the OI. Oh, that one hit the building. Okay. Decided to go for the OI again. Yep, rounds out. And that one just bounces off the armor. It might be a good idea for him to use the heat rounds. Rounds out. Again, no penetration, but Arty are firing at him. He hasn't been moving about much, and the enemy Arty worked out where he was. And now he's using the heat rounds, or was. I don't think he actually earned anything from that shot, but oh, that one! These shots are just bouncing off. They're not actually doing any damage. Okay, he's going to try again. Going for the boobies. Oh, he got a hit there. That was an HE round. And there again, he's got another hit. That one landed on the boobies. Lining up another shot. Rounds out. Oh, and the target dies before the shell can arrive. But look, he's got the Viz 44. And looks like he fired the shell in, but not sure he got anything from that one. Okay, KD1, that's a good target. And unfortunately, the shell zips past the turret and lands on the ground behind him. Now, these shells are capable of doing 410 alpha, and they'll penetrate 53 millimeters of armor with 1.91 meter burst radius. All of these shells are actually hitting the target, but we can't see where on the target they actually did hit, because there's no marks on it. Normally there are marks to show where the shell impacted. I tried to go for the comet. Can't see if those shells hit the comet either, for that matter. But he's backed himself up into that corner. Fires one in. Close. The comet's had enough. And the KD1, well, he's still there, but he's difficult to hit. Okay, much easier to hit the comet now. It's gone around the corner. He's trying to work out if the enemy Arty is near those trees, and it probably is. We saw Tracer coming out from that tree earlier. Rounds out in the KV1, and he gets another hit. 146 this time. Oh, the Arty moved. He's actually closer to the house now. He fires speculatively. Oh! He hit the engine bay of the comet, and the comet blew up. So it was a good shot, that one. He's still getting damage on these enemy tanks. Now he's switched to the IS, who pulls back just in time to avoid a shot. We're looking down the far end of the map, and we've got our SFV, or SV rather, and he's got this Zalimika in sights. And it looks like, yeah, he's got the kill. Meanwhile, up this end of the map, we can see there's an MT25 trying to squeeze through there, but we've got a red line which indicates that there's obstructions in the way blocking the shot. So he's actually pulling back his aim. In fact, his aim's very jerky at the moment. Okay, the MT25 coming up from oh, fired through the cap. And unfortunately, that MT25 is very close to us. But now he's dead. He got too close. And yes, targy managed to finish him off. Targy's having a good game so far. He's got 2 kills. Okay, Excalibur. Good shot, please. Oh, missed it just. That was RNG, actually, more than anything. He fires another one at the Excalibur. I think he was trying to replicate the shot on the Comet, where he hit him in the rear and he blew up. Fires one in. Well, he did get 176 from that shot. And the IS at the moment is trying to cross the river. That would be a really good shot if he could actually hit the guy while he's underwater. You actually get a kill for disabling the tank. Oh, he was too long under the water anyway. He tried to reverse and he drowned. Very silly. Try to go for it again. Yes! Got a sniping shot there of the guy as he tried to move the Excalibur across the bridge. We fire another one in, and that's a kill shot. So that's 3 kills now for targy. So he's having an excellent game. We're 3 up on the enemy. And they've located one of the enemy Arty. But Arty firing in our direction. Missed us. It landed on the ground in front of us. So we've got another shot on the Chi Nu. And it's a kill shot. So that's 4 kills now for targy. Who's next? Well, there's the other Arty. It's a gorilla, and he's turned around and put himself front end against the building. I wonder if he's going to try and fire against the building and kill himself. Yeah, so I'm afraid he does. But in fact, actually, the kill goes to the SFV. Okay, there's only 2 enemies remaining now. A T-78 and a Stug 3 Aslains. Targy's decided to come out of cover because I think he realizes he's going to get closer to the enemy, and they're too far away. In fact, he's just spotted the T-78 up on top of the hill. That one hit the turret, and he got a penetrating shot with a low roll, and the guy went down. So that's a good shot. That means it didn't count, but he did get a lot of hit points off that shot alone. A huge amount. Only 1 enemy remaining, the Stug. He's firing in speculatively where he was last seen. Oh, now that was a heat round, but it did explode against the ground. And he's done the same again. I think oh, there he is. And before he can fire, that enemy died, and that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a second-class tanker for targy of 3 RTR in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly in that one, and he managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11. His win rate was 5,482, which is super unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Didn't get the highest damage in the game. In fact, that went to the IS on the enemy team with 2,228. Second highest damage, the SFV, who I was actually having trouble trying to pronounce his name. Yeah, he got 2,155 hit points. And then we've got targy in 3rd place with 1,762. When it came to kills, Targy was tops. He had 4 kills. 3 kills went to the FSV. I'll get it right that time. And 2 kills went to the IS on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the FSV managed to get 970 and Targy got 857. He fired 41 rounds, so he only had 9 left at the end of the game, but he got 18 direct hits and 3 penetrating shots and 16 splash. Damage of 1,762 hit points, of which 1,726 were at more than 300 meters, so the close shot was the MT25. He did receive 1 hit by way of splash damage from the enemy Arty. It was the M41 HMC, got 1 close to him. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 4 were killed, and he got 2 defense points when he reset the cap. On a premium count, he actually made 106,465 credits from that game, and he also picked up 8,227 experience points as well. So that's a reasonably good game, a decent game with a lot of kills in it and some nice shots. Let's have a look at the second replay that Targy has sent in. The second replay is on the Province map and we're on the west spawn. Let's go. Game on. Now there are plenty of places you can actually go in this Arty, and he hasn't made up his mind yet because it looks like his gun's down and he may not have loaded in just yet. But sometimes it's actually easier to go down into the valley floor and shoot from there. But I think he might stay up in this corner and back into the trees. Okay, enemy in sight already. Well, he's expecting some of the enemy to come up the west side of the map. So he's pre-aiming. Looks like one enemy has already gone down, the M4A1. There is an enemy Excelsior on the other side. In fact, there are 2 of them over the other side of the map. But Targy's still ignoring them because he wants shells on the enemy tanks on the west side. Well, it looks like the enemy are trying to be foxy about this because they've actually sent tanks to the ramp that leads up to the spawn area. There you go. And enemy tanks are falling, but look at these 2 here. Well, one of the Excelsiors went down, but there's the other one. He's dialing in as quickly as he can. Fires a shell in, gets a hit on the Excelsior. Fires another one in. That one went a little far. Well, a lot of tanks are dying, and it's 4-all at the moment. It's not an easy game so far because nobody's really presenting themselves as a decent target. The Type T-34 is a reasonable one. Pops out every now and then. Oh, almost got him there. Now, hopefully, if he comes up to these bushes again, he might get another chance. He fires snap. Unfortunately, the enemy stops, turns around. I think if you fire into this area snap, there's a possibility they'll hear that shell is on the way in, and that might make them pull back. Yes, we are not getting much in the way of targets at the moment. It's difficult when your teammates won't actually show you the enemy. You don't know where they are. Now, the only alternative, of course, is to go out hunting the enemy yourself and try and find them yourself. And this Arty does have a 390-meter view range. But this stage of the battle, with still 10 tanks on either side, there's a good chance if you try and go out hunting that you'll be the one that gets killed. So it's not a good idea to start with at the moment. Later on it might be. You can see this Panzerveer-Ausführung-H, but he's hugging the side of the building for cover. We fire snap. And I'm not sure where that shell went, but I think he changed angle. And another enemy tank has gone down. The M10 got that Honey 3. He's going to need to lead the target to get a shot. You can see the M10. He fires the shell in. Just misses. This guy is out in the open, and that's a Hydrostat. That's a premium tank. Yet again, very little enemy in the way of in sight. And now we're 3 down on the enemy, and they're pushing. Again, they're playing Arty safe to avoid getting hit. And that Excelsior should be pulling back. In fact, targy gives them a warning to pull back because we want to draw the enemy in and hit him. But he's not doing it. In fact, he's the one who's now under fire from the enemy because he's not pulling back. We're now 4 tanks left on our team. 2 of those Arty. This is not looking good. And to be honest, it looks like our teammates were, well, very, very noob. Very much noobs. Well, that wasn't a noobish shot. That was a very good shot. Right into the MXCLC, took him out of the game. We're now dialing in on that Type T-34. We can't see him anymore, but he did get a direct hit with that shot. Though I suspect that that enemy tank is no longer there. Yes, he's pulled back. Only 3 left on our team now. And the enemy is pressing from the north. I expect that they will probably come across the valley and try and attack us from the ramp. He's not there. He's actually a bit further down. Yes, targy is expecting the enemy to get close from the valley. We're facing 8 enemy tanks. And here comes the first one. It's an M10 RBFM. And he gets a kill. Waited until he was pushed. But it didn't stop him getting spotted. Unfortunately, an enemy fire is coming in. Arty round. Now we've got the Panzerveer Hydrostat approaching. Now he stopped for a second. So we're dialing in on him. And we got a big hit, but didn't kill him. And he's going to get another shot in before we can fire. But we do get a kill on him. And an enemy Arty shell comes in as well. So we're under fire. And the enemy... Oh, another good shot. And look at these Arty shells are coming in. Unfortunately, they're doing a lot of damage. And he gets another blind hit on the enemy there. He's losing hit points, but he's getting shots on the enemy. And that was another blind hit, but yes, the enemy Arty gets him in the end. And he is the last player to die. Here's is the end of battle stats. I'm afraid all he managed to get out of that battle was a bruiser medal. He managed to get a win rate of 3,595, which is Super Unicum standard, but sadly it was a loss, and because his teammates really didn't help him, they left him with too much to do, and he did have a good go. He managed to kill 2 enemy tanks, the M10 RBFM and the Panzerfahr Hydrostat, and even the AMX CLC, but he couldn't kill all of the remaining enemy by himself. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he got the highest damage in the game out of that one. 1,458 hit points went to targy. The second highest was, in fact, the Zalemaika on his team, who got 1,215. Third highest damage, well, that went to the M10 RBFM on his team with 1,147. The Gorilla on the enemy team managed to get a Confederate out of that game, and he was the only one who got a medal. When it came to kills, we can see that targy actually shared the top spot on kills. He got 3, so did the enemy M10 RBFM and the AMX CLC, 2 of the tanks he killed. And when it came to base XP, it's the enemy team who did the best. The M10 managed to get 659, 646 went to the Gorilla, 640 went to the AMX CLC Biz. He fired 20 rounds in that game, so still had plenty of ammo left over, but for most of the game rather, he wasn't shown where the enemy was, so he couldn't actually fire shells at them. 9 enemy direct hits and 2 penetrating shots, 9 splash. Damage of 1,458, of which 820 were at more than 300 meters. Some of those were the close range shots that he managed to fire at the AMX CLC, the Hydrostat and the M10 RBFM. 3 hits received, 2 of them were penetrations, 3 splashes by way of Arty. In fact, it was the enemy 105 leFH18B2 that killed him in the end. He also got 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and he earned, on a premium count, 12,403 credits from the game. And he also picked up 1,014 experience points out of that one as well. He did get a reward for completing a mission of 2,041 experience credits, rather, but he didn't get a medal, so he didn't get the Courageous Resistance Award. So there you go, fight to the death, and he did do that, and he put up quite a bit of a resistance, but he just couldn't win in the end. I hope you enjoyed both of those replays, this one, and of course the previous one on Erlenberg. If you did, please give the video a like, and thank you for watching.